In the previous episodes, Ethan claimed he saw Jim again after his death. Victor finally admitted that the man in yellow is real, and Tabitha got another warning that time is running out. If you missed that episodes, the link is in the description below. Now, let's continue with Season 4, Episode 4 and 5. After finding the yellow suit, Boyd and the others take it to the sheriff's office. Everyone gathers around and starts discussing what it could mean. Boyd thinks it may have belonged to someone who lived in the village long ago, while everyone else shares their own theories. Meanwhile, Tabitha is still struggling to accept the truth. She doesn't know whether the reincarnation story is real or if the ghosts are simply manipulating her mind. But Jade has no doubts at all. He firmly believes everything is true. Jade tells Tabitha that if she really is Miranda reborn, then Miranda's memories might still be inside her. Miranda drew countless things connected to this place, including the man in yellow. If Tabitha can unlock more of those memories, they might finally discover who he really is. At the same time, Donna is worried about Jade's plan to eat the strange mushrooms. She fears it could kill him or drive him insane. But Boyd doesn't want to ignore any possible clue. Since the boy in white warned that Tabitha is running out of time, Boyd decides they need to take every chance they get and supports Jade's plan. Elsewhere, Sophia continues staying at Sarah's house. Unlike most people in the village, Sophia treats Sarah kindly and talks to her normally. Because of that, Sarah slowly starts trusting her. Later, Sarah comes downstairs to prepare some food, but suddenly she freezes. A sharp pain shoots through her head. The voices are back. She collapses to the floor screaming as the whispers grow louder and louder inside her mind. Unknown to Sarah, Sophia is secretly chanting something upstairs. It becomes clear that the man in yellow is the one responsible for the voices that have been tormenting Sarah all these years. Hearing the screams, Sophia calmly walks downstairs and comforts Sarah, pretending she knows nothing about what is happening. Meanwhile, Julie and Randall start reading the books they found inside the collapsed house. One story catches their attention. It's about a man named Tread, an elevator repairman who secretly becomes a story walker. During weekends, he travels through time and experiences all kinds of adventures across different timelines. While they're reading, Tabitha arrives and tells Julie that Ethan is convinced Jim is somehow connected to the mysterious Lake of Tears. She fears Ethan might sneak off alone to search for it, so she wants Julie to come with them. But Julie refuses. Right now, she's obsessed with understanding story walking and believes it could be the key to saving her father. She says she'll stay behind, and besides, Randall is there with her. Tabitha doesn't like the idea, but after losing Jim, she doesn't want to keep controlling her children and push them away. Before leaving, she pulls Randall aside and tells him quietly, "Somehow Julie feels safe with you. Don't put her in danger. Don't break my trust." Randall nods and Tabitha leaves. Meanwhile, Tabitha and Ethan aren't traveling alone. They're joining the group heading toward the settlement to collect more vegetables. Donna is going too, so she leaves Kenny in charge of Colony House. Ellis plans to come as well, but Fatima suddenly refuses and runs back to her room. Inside, Elgin has already filled the room with sand and poured water over it, just as Fatima requested. When she sees it, she thanks him and says it's enough. From here, she'll handle everything herself. As Elgin leaves, Kenny notices water leaking from under Fatima's door. Curious and concerned, he enters the room and finds Fatima doing something strange with the wet sand. She refuses to explain anything, making Kenny even more suspicious. He immediately decides to tell Boyd. Elsewhere, Jade is still waiting for the mushrooms to trigger some kind of vision. He ate them hoping to unlock hidden memories, but so far absolutely nothing has happened. At the church, Sarah sits alone thinking about the voices that return to her head. That's when Elgin walks in. Sarah tells him about a strange new command the voices gave her. They told her to take water from the diner jar, pour it into a glass, take a sip, and then pour it back into the jar. The task sounds completely pointless, which is exactly what scares her. Elgin points out that it doesn't seem harmful, and maybe doing it would finally make the voices stop. But Sarah disagrees. She's terrified that if she drinks from the glass and pours it back, she could spread some kind of sickness. Or worse, the curse and voices tormenting her could somehow pass to someone else. After everything she's done, Sarah refuses to let another innocent person suffer because of her, so she decides not to obey. But before disappearing, the voices gave her one final warning. If she doesn't complete the task before evening, someone she cares about will be hurt. And until she obeys, the suffering will continue. Meanwhile, Victor is busy counting steps between the trees in the forest. He believes the trees are slowly moving because this place keeps changing day by day. Instead of stopping him, Henry decides to help and asks Victor to finally share everything he has been keeping to himself, especially anything related to the yellow dress they found. Victor stays silent for a moment and then tells Henry to come with him. There is something he wants to show. Back in town, Julie continues reading the Story Walker book. As she reads further, she discovers something important. In the story, Tread doesn't randomly jump through time. Before every journey, he carefully chooses the exact date, year, and time he wants to visit. He uses bookmarks to mark important points in the story, so he can always return to the same moment later. Suddenly, Julie thinks she has figured it out. If the ruins really allow her to travel through time, then maybe she can do the same thing. She could somehow create her own bookmarks, return to specific moments, and eventually travel back to the day Jim died. And if she can reach the right moment, maybe she can save her father. Meanwhile, Boyd goes to check on Fatima after Kenny's warning. When he enters the room, he sees Fatima working with the wet sand. Confused, Boyd asks what she's making. Fatima calmly replies that she's building a golem. According to her, the golem will protect her and everyone from the evil surrounding this place. Boyd doesn't stop her. After everything Fatima has suffered, he feels she deserves some space and doesn't want to take away the one thing giving her hope. On the way to the settlement, Ethan notices an injured bird lying on the ground. He carefully picks it up and brings it along, convinced this could be their first real test of the Lake of Tears. If the lake truly has healing power, the bird should recover there. Back in town, Sarah heads to the diner to follow the voice's instructions, but halfway there she hesitates and decides not to do it. Instantly, Sophia falls into an empty swimming pool and gets injured as if something unseen pulled her down. That's enough to break Sarah's confidence. The voices had warned her this would happen if she disobeyed. Panicked, she rushes back and finally completes the task exactly as told, pouring water from the diner jar into a glass, drinking it, and returning it back. She waits, watching for anything to happen. Hours pass, but nothing does. Eventually, the diner worker empties the jar into the sink, and only then does Sarah leave, shaken but relieved. Meanwhile, Donna's group reaches the settlement and decides to stay the night before heading back. Ethan, however, focuses only on the injured bird, still determined to test the lake and prove it is the Lake of Tears. At the same time, Julie prepares for another attempt at time travel. Before entering the ruins, she cuts her hair short, remembering how she was almost caught by the ghosts the last time. She and Randall reach the ruins, where Julie explains her idea of bookmarking time. She believes that if she travels into the past and marks a symbol on paper, then returns with it intact, she can anchor specific moments and revisit them again, that she hopes could eventually lead her back to the day Jim died. With that, she steps into the ruins. In the present, her body shakes violently, but Julie herself is already somewhere else. This time she arrives on the next day, morning of the town's massacre. She sees the man in yellow in the distance sitting over a victim. But what truly horrifies her is what he's doing. He's eating someone. He notices her presence. Julie panics. She quickly marks a symbol on the paper she brought with her and drops it before running. The man in yellow immediately starts chasing her. Every second, he gets closer, and just when it seems like he's about to catch her, Randall pulls her out of the ruins in the present. Julie wakes up gasping for air. Her first thought is the bookmark. She quickly checks the paper, but the paper is completely blank. The mark is gone. After risking her life and coming face to face with the man in yellow, Julie realizes her plan has failed. Victor takes Henry to a secret container. He starts digging through old buried papers and drawings. Victor explains something important here. He never keeps all his memories visible. Most of his drawings are buried on purpose, like he is locking away pieces of his own past. He only digs them out when he is ready to remember what really happened. He shows Henry drawings connected to the man in yellow. In one drawing, the man in yellow is shown like an ordinary person, just like everyone else who entered this town. Nothing special, nothing scary at first. But the second drawing changes everything. It shows him standing near the hollow tree and eating Victor's mother's body. The moment Henry sees it, he completely breaks down. He cannot process what he is looking at. Meanwhile, in the clinic, Christy is treating Sophia's injured hand. It is badly broken, and as she sits there recovering, Sophia suddenly starts talking about a story. She speaks about a man named Abraham, a deeply devoted believer who follows everything God says without questioning. According to the story, God decides to test him and asks him to sacrifice his own son for no reason. Abraham agrees without hesitation and prepares to do it. But at the last moment, God replaces the son with a goat, and the goat is sacrificed instead. Sophia finishes the story calmly, but Christy and Sinclair are confused. They don't understand why she is saying this now. But for us, the meaning is clear. Sophia isn't just talking. She is testing Sarah. Just like Abraham was tested, Sarah here is being tested to see whether she will obey the voice no matter what. Back at Fatima's place, she is still working on the golem she has been building. Boyd comes to check on her and asks why she is putting so much effort into this. Fatima explains something disturbing. Even though the entity is no longer inside her, she still feels the same connection she felt when it was there. That sensation has not disappeared. It feels like a lingering echo inside her body and mind, as if she is still connected to what was once inside her. Because of that feeling, she believes the golem is necessary. She feels it will give her strength against that unseen connection. Boyd listens and quietly walks away without stopping her. On the stairs, Boyd suddenly sees a ring fall down. He picks it up and notices the infinity symbol on it. It belongs to his wife. Confused, he rushes to his office and opens a box where he always keeps the ring stored. Inside the box, the ring is still there. But when he looks back at the ring in the table, it is not there. Boyd is left completely confused, unsure whether what he is experiencing is real or not. At the settlement, Donna and Tabitha pour the lake water onto the injured bird, hoping Ethan's idea might work. But the bird does not respond. It dies, and they quietly bury it. Others are gathering vegetables. One of them notices a thick rope disappearing into the lake. He pulls it, and something heavy begins to rise from the water, still tied to it, slowly coming up from below. At first, nobody knows what is tied to the rope. Donna looks around and says that if they're planning to spend the night at the settlement peacefully, they need to know exactly what is hiding beneath the water. So everyone grabs the rope and starts pulling together. Slowly, the object emerges from the lake. To everyone's surprise, it isn't a creature at all. It's 3 scarecrows tied together. Donna tears one open to check if something is hidden inside, but finds nothing except old cloth and cotton. Everyone is confused about why anyone would sink scarecrows into a lake. Then, a disturbing thought crosses Donna's mind. Scarecrows are normally used to keep crows away from fields. But these weren't placed in a field, they were hidden underwater. What if they were meant to stop something from coming out of the lake? The idea is enough to make everyone uncomfortable. Nobody wants to test whether Donna is right. They quickly tie stones back onto the scarecrows and push them back into the water, hoping whatever they were keeping away stays exactly where it belongs. Meanwhile, Jade is still waiting for the mushroom he ate to do something. Suddenly, he notices the arrow sign board glowing almost as if it is guiding him somewhere. Suddenly, the spiders crawling all over his body. Jade screams and starts brushing them off, but when Boyd rushes over, there are no spiders at all. Instead of being scared, Jade realizes the mushroom is finally working. He tells Boyd that from now on, he needs help staying connected to reality. They agree on a secret word, Capricorn. If Boyd says it and Jade responds normally, they'll know he's still grounded in the real world. Boyd agrees to stay by his side no matter what happens. The glowing arrows lead them deeper into the forest. The further they go, the stronger the visions become. Jade starts speaking into the darkness, demanding answers and begging to remember whatever this place has stolen from him. Then he hears violin music. Only Jade can hear it. Following the sound, he finds a small boy playing a violin. To his shock, the boy is his younger self. The memory comes rushing back. Jade's grandmother had always told him to keep playing music. When Jade's grandmother died, during her funeral, young Jade kept playing the violin long after everyone else had stopped listening, because a part of him believed that if he kept playing, maybe she would come back. But Jade didn't come here to remember his grandmother. He wants to know why he is connected to this village. As soon as he demands more answers, the vision changes. His younger self now stands in front of him, and beside him appears the terrifying one-eyed nailed man Jade has seen before. The man is holding a skull bowl filled with blood and keeps repeating the same word over and over, remember. Boyd can't see any of this. All he sees is Jade staring into empty space. When Jade explains what he's seeing, Boyd tells him that if these visions aren't real, then the blood can't hurt him. Maybe drinking it is exactly what the vision wants him to do. But young Jade immediately warns him not to. Now Jade stands between two choices. After a long moment of hesitation, Jade finally makes his decision. He takes the skull bowl from the one-eye-nailed man and drinks the blood. The moment Jade drinks the blood, the young boy looks at him with disappointment. He tells Jade that the blood was never meant for him. It was meant for someone else. Now that he has drunk it, he won't remember the answers he is searching for. Instead, he is going to remember the things he buried deep inside himself, the memories he never wanted to face again. Before Jade can ask anything more, the boy starts walking away. With no other choice, Jade and Boyd follow him deeper into the forest. The path eventually leads them to the colony house. Outside, 4 men are standing together playing violins. The sight immediately unsettles Jade because he recognizes every single one of them. One is Christopher. Another is the man who tried to shoot him when he was fixing the radio antenna. One is the one-eye man nailed through the eye. And the last is the man whose head was crushed beneath a huge stone. Jade has seen all 4 of these men before as hallucinations ever since arriving in the village. For the first time, the pieces start fitting together. These aren't random visions. These are all versions of him, his previous lives. And something else suddenly becomes clear. None of them were killed by the ghosts. Their bodies didn't have the brutal wounds the ghosts always leave behind. They died in completely different ways. The boy finally reveals the terrible truth. This cycle has happened over and over again. Every time Jade is reborn and returns to the village, he slowly remembers the truth. The villagers eventually discover what he knows. Fear turns into hatred, hatred turns into blame, and in the end they kill him again, and again, and again. Then the boy says something even worse. The same fate awaits Tabitha, except her death is always far more horrific. Jade stands there furious. After everything he has suffered, after all the lives he has lived, he demands an answer. Then, what's the point? If I keep dying every time, how do I escape this place? The boy simply stares at him. Without answering, he opens the door of the house and steps inside, leaving Jade with nothing but more questions than before. Meanwhile, at the clinic, Christy finishes checking Sophia's broken hand and asks Sinclair to bring some supplies from the ambulance. Sinclair heads outside, but the moment she reaches the vehicle, she freezes in terror. Suddenly, she sees handcuffs locked around her wrists. She starts panicking and desperately tries to pull them off. Then Christy arrives, and everything is normal. There are no handcuffs. Realizing it was another hallucination, Sinclair says nothing and quietly returns inside. But the nightmare isn't over. As soon as she gets back, Sophia gently grabs her hand. Then Sinclair sees the handcuffs again. This time the vision is even stronger. Christy notices Sinclair struggling and tries to calm her down, believing she's having another episode. But what nobody realizes is that Sophia is causing all of it. Or rather, the man in yellow is. Hidden behind the innocent face of a little girl, he continues tormenting people one by one, enjoying every second of their fear. And the more they suffer, the more satisfied he seems to become. Jade slowly follows the boy into the house and reaches a storage room packed with old furniture, broken boxes, and piles of junk. The boy doesn't explain anything and simply disappears. Certain that there must be a reason he was brought here, Jade starts clearing everything out. Boyd helps him move the heavy objects, and after a while they uncover something unexpected behind the pile. A hidden door. What immediately catches Jade's attention is that Boyd can see it too. This isn't another hallucination or vision. The door is real, and whatever answers Jade has been searching for might be hidden behind it. Meanwhile, night falls at the settlement, and everyone gathers inside the house under the protection of the talisman. Just when they begin to relax, they hear the faint sound of a little girl singing somewhere in the darkness. The song hits Tabitha like a lightning bolt. Suddenly, memories begin flooding back. She remembers singing that exact song in one of her previous lives while playing with 3 dolls that looked exactly like the scarecrow dolls they had pulled from the lake earlier. In that memory, a man takes the dolls away from her, warning that they bring terrible nightmares, and throws them into the lake. It is the very same lake beside the settlement. Then she remembers something even worse. The man died not long afterward, and whatever evil dreams he had been trying to contain eventually escaped from the water. The realization terrifies her. Tabitha suddenly understands that the talismans won't protect them from this danger. Before she can properly explain, the entire house shakes violently. A massive scarecrow creature smashes through the wall and forces its way inside. Panic spreads instantly as everyone runs for their lives. One villager is caught before he can escape and is brutally killed. At the same time, another woman from the group goes missing. When they find her, a scarecrow has dragged her toward the fire and is trying to burn her alive. Alice rushes in and barely manages to pull her away while the creature's burning hands reach for them. As chaos erupts all around, another scarecrow grabs Donna and begins choking her. While everyone struggles to survive, another forgotten memory suddenly returns to Tabitha. She realizes the wooden figures placed around the settlement were never decorations. Grabbing one of them, she rushes forward and drives it into the scarecrow attacking Donna. The effect is immediate. The giant creature collapses to the ground lifeless. For a moment, everyone just stands there staring. The monster is dead, which means the wooden dolls around the settlement weren't there for protection alone. They were placed there for a reason. Jade and Boyd finally open the hidden door and step through it, only to realize that it connects directly to the underground cave where the monsters sleep during the daytime. The discovery itself is terrifying. Boyd immediately says they need to leave before something notices them, but Jade's attention is pulled elsewhere. The mysterious boy appears again. Without even responding to Boyd, Jade starts following him deeper into the darkness. The boy leads him through the cave until they arrive at a place Jade recognizes instantly. It's the same chamber he saw before, the place where the children were laid on stone slabs and sacrificed. Seeing it again only frustrates him. He's already been here. He's already seen this. So, what is he supposed to do with this information? Looking at the boy, Jade demands answers. How can he save children who died long ago? What is the point of showing him the same thing over and over again? But as always, the boy refuses to answer. Instead, he simply walks away, and suddenly the atmosphere around Jade changes. The smiling monsters begin appearing from the darkness. Before he can react, they surround him, drag him toward one of the stone pits, and throw him inside. A massive stone slab closes above him, trapping him exactly the way the sacrificed children were trapped. In the darkness, Jade notices one of the children sitting beside him. The child slowly lifts its head and repeats the same word that has been haunting him for so long. Remember. The sight is enough to break him. Jade starts screaming in terror, and that's when the real twist arrives. None of this is actually happening. Jade never entered the cave. He never followed the boy. He never found the sacrificial chamber. In reality, he has been sitting inside Boyd's office the entire time. Everything after the spider hallucination was created by the mushroom. While Jade believed he was walking through forests, uncovering secret doors, and reliving forgotten memories, Boyd had been standing right next to him, listening as he described every vision out loud. As Jade finally snaps back to reality, Boyd tries to calm him down. But instead of panicking, Jade suddenly starts laughing. Not the laugh of a man losing his mind. The laugh of a man who has finally solved the puzzle. All the visions, memories, previous lives, and hidden clues have connected together in his head. Boyd asks what happened, but Jade only smiles and says that he finally understands. He knows how to escape this place. And even more importantly, he knows how to save the children. Before Boyd can ask another question, the screen cuts to black. And with that, episode 5 of season 4 comes to an end. 5 episodes in, the mystery has only become bigger. What exactly did Jade figure out? Is there really a way to save the sacrificed children? And if Jade now knows the truth, how long will it take before the man in yellow comes for him? We'll find out in episode 6. See you in the next video. Don't forget to subscribe to Tianshi Recaps.